Ohio high school graduate cannot read or count money, claims education system failed her. This is
And
the.
surprise, here's the
Uh,
ironic part.
Go ahead.
Oh,
They're saying, here's the ironic part, and yes, I'm being an Uncle Tom. She's black.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but now that the toothpaste is out of the tube, so that's not now you're. It's because she's black, but not for the reason that a racist might say.
Right.
She's not illiterate and can't count money because she's black and blacks are inferior and have low IQs or whatever, that kind of shit. She can't read and she can't count money and she's black because they were too afraid to fail her because they didn't want to be accused of racism.
Yes, and this has been going on for quite some time. Because when I noticed this when I was started going to black schools, especially the ghetto ones, is that a lot of times they'd be afraid to actually fail this kid and hold them back a grade or two. I know that there was one who I went to school with. I mean, this guy was big and he was very violent. He once picked up a chair and broke it on a teacher's back, from what I was told. And they passed him on because they were scared of him. They just wanted to get rid of him.
Yep,
What?
there was
But you know why? It's not just that they're afraid of being accused of racism. It's because of disparate impact. Because the Supreme Court established a standard that if more black people fail than white people, it doesn't matter whether it's racist or not. It's racist because of the outcome. So they just start passing people because they just don't give a fuck because they don't want to get hit for disparate impact.
It was the
Yeah.
same
Wait a minute,
thing.
this is-
Yes, there was a school in America when Obama was president, and he basically said. So here, I can't remember the details. Let me kind of paraphrase. So they had a policy where like too many black kids were being suspended. So they had to get the non-black numbers up to make them equal with the black numbers. So eventually, once too many black kids got suspended, they stopped suspending black kids no matter what. And if you were a white kid and you like coughed, they would suspend you because they needed to bring like the non-black numbers up. And this school was praised. They were like featured in like stuff because they'd solved racial equality, and they did it by basically letting black kids just do whatever the fuck they want and turning a blind eye, while dropping the hammer on whites and Asians to try to bring the numbers up. It was basically a disciplinary disparity, and the result was there was like people getting hurt, and there was like all kinds of violence, and I can't remember something. One of the kids turned out to be a domestic terrorist. And he was from. Oh no, he was a school shooter, and he was Hispanic. He was from that school, and they basically passed him along and didn't do anything to him because he was Hispanic, and he ended up shooting up a school. And it was all because of a racial, equality bullshit. So that's what happened. So she's not like. She can't. It's not that she can't read because she's black. It's that nobody forced her to read because she's black.
quick question. How widespread is this make-believe racism? Like, oh no, I don't want this to be seen as racist. Get up,
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Including
God,
Western Europe.
It's fucking disgusting, honestly.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that even Denmark has it too, considering how Western Europe and Nordic
And you know
countries.
what's really
It's
sad
everywhere and it's terminal.
Yeah,
Right,
but
and
in the first place, we don't have a lot of black people to begin with.
well, that'll change because you're not having kids. So we're,
True.
Anyway, no, it started under Obama. Like it really got really kicked off under Obama, which is sad because Obama should have been the fact that we had a black president should have been the end of racial tension. That should have been the crown jewel on civil rights. Like, look how far we've come. We've elected a black president. We can now put all this bullshit behind us and we can move forward as Americans. And instead of being like the great healer, he just started dividing America. He like reopened old wounds, and that's where it really started. Like things were getting better. Racial tensions were going down, and then Obama just like decided to throw gasoline and napalm and light a match, and fucking burned the last 50 years of progress to the ground. And now we're basically back to it's like reverse civil rights now. Now it's gone to like hatred of white people and blaming white people, and also now they redefined it to where racism against white people is okay because it's not racism because of power plus privilege, which even if you show, but we had a black president, we have a black attorney general. This is back when Obama was president. Like we have a black president, a black attorney general. How are white people in power? Like, that doesn't count. What do you mean it doesn't count? It doesn't count. Yeah, white people are still in power. And basically what they mean is white people have money. So until we have communism, until we've taken all the private, because again, white is synonymous with capitalist, patriarch, they're all synonyms. So until we have communism, racism is now a synonym for not a communist. If you're not a communist, you're a Nazi.
Wait, didn't racism start out like that?
No, racism is just part of the human condition. Even fucking babies are racist because they prefer people who look like their parents. They associate care and love with their parents. And so if you look like their parents, i.e. you're the same skin color and you look the same, they'll respond positively to you. But like if you're a white baby and you're raised by white parents, you associate people who look like your parents with care and love. And when you see like someone who's black, you'll get scared because they don't look like your parents. You don't know who they are. And they've observed this in babies. That's the genesis of so-called racism. People simply prefer people who look like them.
Yeah, but what I meant was the word racism. Didn't it start out as a slur for socialists to use against capitalists?
Well, yeah, you're talking about cultural Marxism, where
yes,
that started after World War I when the Great Communist Revolution didn't happen. They basically realized the working class couldn't be the vanguard, so here's what's interesting. They split apart Marxism in the 50s. Not the 50s, after World War I. Cultural Marxism in the Frankfurt School. They broke apart Marxism to basically make it appear to be a multi-headed hydra. So you had gender studies, racial studies, Native American studies, queer studies, and they want to make it appear that these weren't Marxist. These were all these independent movements that were criticizing America and capitalism and whiteness from all these different angles. But now that they're winning, now that the right is basically lost, now they're recombining all the heads of the hydra back into communism under intersectionality. Because now notice, when they say white, they also mean capitalist. They also mean patriarchy. They're recombining all the different cultural Marxist, branches back into just communism. Now, and actually Halsey he told me the other day, he saw like these Black Lives Matter people using communist language. And I've never heard that before. Like, so you have all these different...
Someone told me it's been around for a while in my server, but I don't know. I've never heard that before. It was two cashiers at the ShopRite.
Right. Usually these different groups, like the queer rights people, the feminists, the black liberation people, they have their own vernacular. They have their own terms, their own things they do. So they appear to be different movements, but now they're recombining back into communism. They were always just communism. All the bullshit about sexism and racism is just a fig leaf, because if you criticize communism, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a homophobe. It's a magic spell to make you shut up, because they want you to support communism, or at the very least don't get in their way so they can impose communism.
All right. I think
real quick, I just want to tell them what they were saying. These two, and they were like really ghetto black women, and they were both cashiers at the supermarket. And one was showing the other like this big gaudy pair of gold earrings she was wearing. And the other one goes, "Oh man, that's bougie as hell." And I was like, I asked the woman, I said, what is bougie? And she said, rich class. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, they've got the communist vernacular like down, and they don't even realize like if I asked her who Karl Marx was, she would have no idea.
Bougie. That's a new one to me.
Like Gucci. Bougie.
Yeah,
man.
but
right.
you know how we black people are. We're always making up words and stuff. But yeah, let's move on.
What's up to all my weebs and MGTOW brethren out there? I've done it. I've finally done it. I've created a mixtape that combines rap music, anime, and red pill knowledge together to create anime shonen. It's a great mixtape. Go check it out. Yes, each song is named after some of your favorite anime characters such as Shikamaru, Yusuke, Gohan, and many more. Go check it out on Spotify and iTunes. Yes, this mixtape is so fire. It's like eating a ghost pepper with a bag of Takis and hot Cheetos. Yes, you're gonna be shitting fire for weeks after you listen to this mixtape. Like I said, go check it out on Spotify and iTunes. Links in the description. I'll see you guys later.
A perfect world. That's what they promised. A world without struggle or suffering, and yet all we've known is death and decay. The media tried to shift the blame, but they couldn't hide reality from those seeking answers. Some were lulled into a false sense of security, but once the collapse happened, violence spilled onto everyone's doorsteps. No one was safe, and there was nowhere to hide. This utopia was doomed, like all the others that came before. Another failed experiment in pursuit of something that could never be. Something that went against nature itself. The overseers thought they could contain the chaos, but they only made things worse. They didn't understand that there was nothing left to save. I've seen it before, and I know what comes after the blood dries. This time, I'm getting out for good. And anyone who tries to stop me is going to understand the brutality of self-preservation. War. War never changes. In the current year, women have declared war on men. Men are not only guilty until proven innocent, but they are not even allowed to prove their innocence. In response to this warfare waged by women, known as feminism, men have sought refuge with waifus, artificial women able to satisfy a man's need for love and sex. Retailers like the Dollhouse began to spread, bringing waifus to men everywhere, freeing them from the enslavement of feminism. Get your waifu today from thedollhouse.com or dc.dollhouse.com if you're in the United States, before they're banned by feminism so they can control men once more. Go to thedollhouse.com and dcdollhouse.com to find your waifu today, before it's too late.
13 Rules to Not Be a Fucking Cuck is my latest book, and my greatest book. My previous works have been mostly comedy, satire, parody. This is a book I didn't just do for the lulz and because it was funny, but actually because I think it will make a difference and will help people. We live in a world with a lot of different competing ideologies, individuals, organizations, everything you can think of, trying to subvert your life for its purpose. Everybody has a plan for your life and they don't care what yours is. But if you don't stand up for your life, about what you want to do with your life, somebody else is going to make that decision for you. So don't be a cuck. Check out 13 Rules to Not Be a Fucking Cuck on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. Links in the description.